Hello and welcome to Let's Master English, the podcast that helps you build the confidence to not just understand English, but to truly speak it. I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about something that everyone, everywhere, wishes they had more of. It's not money, it's not clothes, it's time. Does this sound familiar? You wake up in the morning full of good intentions. Today, you tell yourself, today I will study English for an hour. You have your textbook ready, your favorite app is on your phone, and you are motivated. But then, life happens. You have to rush to work or school. Your boss gives you an urgent task. The kids need help with their homework. You have to cook dinner, do the laundry, call your family. Before you know it, it's 10 p.m. You're exhausted. You look at your English book and you feel a little bit guilty. Tomorrow, you promise yourself. I'll definitely do it tomorrow. I have been there. My name is host's name, and for the longest time, tomorrow was my favorite day for learning English. I felt like I was constantly running, but never getting closer to my goal of fluency. I believed I just didn't have enough time. But then I had a realization, a powerful one that changed everything for me. The problem wasn't a lack of time. The problem was how I was seeing my time. I learned that fluent speakers aren't people with more hours in their day. They are people who have learned to use their minutes wisely. Today, I want to share my journey with you. We'll explore why managing our time is so crucial for learning English, and I'll give you the most realistic, practical tips I've discovered. I'll also share some incredible stories from learners all over the world, people with busy jobs, families, and demanding lives who still found a way to reach fluency. So if you feel like you're in a constant race against the clock, this episode is for you. Let's learn how to stop chasing time and start making time work for us. Before we get into the how, let's talk about the why. Why is managing our time so important when it comes to learning English? It's not just about fitting in more study hours, it's much deeper than that. For me, the big change happened when I stopped thinking of learning English as one huge, intimidating task that required a big block of free time. I mean, who has a spare 2-hour block every single day? Almost nobody. This mindset made me feel like a failure before I even started. The real goal of time management for language learning is consistency. Learning a language is like building a muscle. You can't go to the gym for 8 hours on a Sunday and expect to be strong for the rest of the month. It's the small, regular workouts that build strength. English is the same. A consistent 15 minutes every day is infinitely more powerful than a heroic 4-hour study session once a month. Why? Because of something called the forgetting curve. When you learn something new, like a vocabulary word or a grammar rule, your brain starts to forget it almost immediately. But if you review it again a short time later, and then again, the memory becomes stronger and stronger. Consistency fights the forgetting curve. It keeps the new information fresh in your mind. This is what I learned from Elena, a doctor I met from Italy. She has an incredibly demanding job with long, unpredictable hours. She told me, I used to wait for the perfect time to study. A quiet evening, a free weekend. But the perfect time never came. I felt like I was getting nowhere. My English was stuck. Then she changed her strategy. She decided to find just 20 minutes every single day, no matter what. Sometimes it was on my bus ride to the hospital, she said, listening to a medical podcast in English. Sometimes it was just 20 minutes reviewing flashcards on my phone during my lunch break. It seemed too small to make a difference, but after a few months, the change was incredible. I understood more in meetings. I could chat with international colleagues. Those small, consistent moments added up to something huge. Elena's story taught me that managing your time isn't about becoming a productivity robot. It's about being smart and kind to your future self. It's about building a sustainable habit that leads to real, lasting progress, not burnout. When you control your schedule, you control your learning. You move from feeling frustrated and guilty to feeling empowered and in control. And that feeling, that confidence, is the foundation of fluency. Okay, so we agree that consistency is key. But how, practically, do we find those consistent moments in a busy life? This is where we get into the fun stuff, the tips, tricks, and techniques that helped me and so many others. First, you need to become a time detective. For 1 or 2 days, just observe your own schedule. Be honest. Where does your time actually go? You might be surprised. I discovered I was spending about 45 minutes every day just scrolling mindlessly through social media. That wasn't making me happy, and it certainly wasn't improving my English. That was my first discovery of lost time. Once you know where your time goes, you can start to redirect it. Here are some of the most effective methods I've found. Time blocking sounds fancy, but it's simple. You look at your calendar and you schedule your English practice just like you would schedule a doctor's appointment or a meeting. You block it out. Write it down. 7:30 a.m. to 7:50 a.m. English listening practice. It's a commitment. But here's the magic trick. Habit stacking. You connect your new English habit to an existing habit you already do without thinking. Do you make coffee every morning? That's an existing habit. You can stack your English habit on top of it. The rule is, after I current habit, I will new English habit. For example, after I press a start on the coffee machine, I will do 1 lesson on my vocabulary app. Or, while the water for my tea is boiling, I will review my flashcards. I learned this from Kenji, a graphic designer from Japan. He's a father of 2 young children and his evenings are chaotic. His stacked habit was, after I drop my children at school, I will sit in my car for 10 minutes and listen to an English news podcast before I drive to work. It was just 10 minutes, but it was 10 minutes every single day, guaranteed. He connected it to something he had to do anyway. He didn't have to find willpower, he just had to follow his routine. This technique is a lifesaver if you find it hard to concentrate. Pomodoro is Italian for tomato, named after a tomato-shaped kitchen timer. The method is simple. You decide on a task, you set a timer for 25 minutes, and you work on that single task with intense focus. No checking your phone, no emails, no distractions. When the timer rings, you take a short 5-minute break. After 4 Pomodoros, you take a longer break. This is perfect for English. You can do 1 25-minute Pomodoro for grammar exercises, another one for reading an article, another for writing a short journal entry. It's amazing how much you can achieve in 25 minutes of pure focus. It breaks the big, scary task of studying English into manageable, bite-sized pieces. We all have dead time in our day. This is time when we are doing something, but our brain is not very busy. Think about your commute to work, standing in a queue at the supermarket, waiting for an appointment, or doing household chores like washing the dishes or folding laundry. This time is a golden opportunity. You can turn this dead time into a live time for your English. This is probably the single biggest change I made. My 40-minute bus ride to work became my personal English classroom. I would put on my headphones and listen to podcasts, just like this one. Think about Maria from Brazil, a young professional I spoke to. She used her 1-hour commute on the busy São Paulo metro to build her fluency. She told me, "The metro is so crowded you can't open a book, but you can listen." She downloaded entire seasons of American sitcoms and just listened to the audio. At first it was hard, but soon she started recognizing phrases, understanding the jokes, and her listening skills improved dramatically. She turned her stressful commute into a productive and even enjoyable part of her day. So, get your headphones ready. Download podcasts, audiobooks, and music in English. Your daily chores and commute can become your secret path to fluency. So, you're finding these pockets of time, you're stacking habits, you're using your commute. But how does this 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, actually make you fluent? Let's connect the dots. Fluency is built on 4 main pillars: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Smart time management allows you to work on all of these, even in short bursts. Let's think about listening. As we learned from Maria, your commute is perfect for this. Listening to podcasts, audiobooks, or the news for 20 to 30 minutes every day will transform your ability to understand natural spoken English. You start to get used to the speed, the rhythm, and the different accents. What about vocabulary and reading? That habit stack you created while your coffee brews. That's 5 minutes a day with a flashcard app like Anki or Quizlet. 5 minutes a day is 35 minutes a week, which is over 2 hours a month. That's thousands of new words you can learn in a year, just while waiting for your coffee. You can use the Pomodoro technique to read a news article or a blog post on a topic you love. 25 minutes is enough to read something interesting and look up the new words. Now, the big one, speaking. How can you practice speaking in short bursts of time? This is where you have to get a little creative. A friend of mine from South Korea, Jin Ho, is an engineer. 2. He's very busy, but he was determined to improve his speaking. His technique? He used the voice memo app on his phone. During his 5-minute walk from the car park to his office, he would record himself summarizing the English podcast he listened to on his drive. He would talk about his plans for the day or describe what he was seeing around him, in English, out loud. He said at first he felt incredibly silly, but after a few weeks, he noticed a huge difference. He was able to find words more quickly. His thoughts felt more organized in English. When he finally had a real conversation, the words just flowed more easily. You can do this too. Talk to yourself in the car. Describe your kitchen while you cook. It might feel strange, but it's an incredibly effective way to practice speaking without a partner. And writing? You don't need to write a long essay. Start a simple daily journal. Before you go to sleep, take 5 minutes to write 3 sentences about your day in English. Today I had a busy day at work. I ate a delicious sandwich for lunch. I'm looking forward to the weekend. That's it. This simple habit gets you into the practice of forming sentences and expressing your thoughts in English. You see? Every small, managed moment is a step. Listening on the bus improves your comprehension. Reviewing flashcards on your break builds your vocabulary. Talking to yourself for 5 minutes builds your speaking confidence. It's not one single action, but the combination of all these small, consistent habits that slowly but surely tears down the wall and builds the bridge to fluency. So, we've covered a lot today. We've talked about why managing your time is really about building consistency. We've looked at practical tools like time blocking, habit stacking, and the Pomodoro technique. And we've seen how people all over the world, people just like you, have turned their dead time into alive time and found their own path to fluency. The most important thing I want you to take away from our chat today is this: be kind to yourself. You don't have to become a different person overnight. You don't need to find 2 extra hours in your day. Start small. Find just 15 minutes. That's it. Find 15 minutes that you can dedicate to English today. Maybe it's listening to one song in English 3 times and really reading the lyrics. Maybe it's watching one short YouTube video on a topic you love. Maybe it's just writing one sentence in your new journal. Start with one small, manageable change. Stick with it. Make it a habit. Then, once it feels easy, you can add another small thing. The journey to fluency is your own personal adventure. It's not a race. By taking control of your time, you are taking control of your journey. You are telling yourself that your goal is important, and you are taking practical, powerful steps to achieve it. You are no longer waiting for tomorrow. You are making it happen today, in the small, precious moments of your life. Thank you so much for listening to Let's Master English. I hope you feel inspired to become a time detective and find those golden minutes in your day. Join me next time as we continue to explore the real-world ways to unlock the confident English speaker inside you. Until then, happy learning.